Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Caleb Likes Books. Today, I have a book haul for you for the month of December of 2024. This month it was Christmas, and so I got some books, and I also bought some myself and bought some with gift cards and things like that. Very, very large book haul this month, way bigger than my norm. If I were to have just gotten like the gifts I got for Christmas, what I got with like gift cards and things like that, and then other stuff that I bought throughout the month that was not Christmas related, I would probably be at around 15 or 20 books, which is still a lot for me for a book haul, but that's kind of at my normal like high end of a book haul, is like around 20, 25 books. I don't know if I did the math right because there's so freaking many, but if I did my math right, I got around 70 or 75 books this month. It's a lot. In my defense, a significant portion of that was because on Amazon there was a big sale of self-published sci-fi and fantasy books where there was a whole bunch of books either for free or for $1, including some sets of entire series for $1. And so I kind of splurged a little bit on that and got a lot of books. But like I said, if I had only stuck with, what I normally would have gotten without that sale, it'd probably be only around 20, which, like I said, is still a lot, but it's still kind of normal for me. You should not expect me to buy this many books every month. This was just a weird month, but it was great because I have so many books now. I literally over doubled my TBR this month, which is maybe not the greatest decision, but I'm happy with it. Before I get into the book haul, first of all, I'm going to split this into a few different sections. I've got like stuff that I got for gifts, stuff that I got for free from authors, either through like stuff that was being given away, or I also had one book that was sent to me, books that I got with gift cards that I got for Christmas, and then ebooks that I got, from the sale and things like that. So kind of some different sections to this. Also, I want to point out, even though it's not a book, I did get this Stormlight Archive Edge Dancer t-shirt from my wife's grandmother. She got me a few different shirts, which you'll be probably seeing in some upcoming videos, but this is the only one I'm going to shout out because it's specifically book related. But I really have been wanting to get a Brandon Sanderson merch for a while because he has a few designs on his website that I really like, and when they unveiled the Knights Radiant Orders shirts, I knew that I really wanted to get one. And I've taken the Knights Radiant quiz a handful of times, including once before I put this on my Christmas list, just to make sure. And every single time I have been firmly placed within the Edge Dancer order. And so I am now the proud owner of this shirt, which is very cool. So to get into the actual books that I got this month, like I said, first I'm going to talk about the gifts that I received for Christmas. I received 4 books as gifts. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the one that you all probably already know about, which is Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, the new book in the Stormlight Archive. My wife's grandmother also got this for me. She got both of the first 2 books in here for me because she used to read The Wheel of Time, and she is aware of Brandon Sanderson because he finished that series. She's gotten me a few of his books before. And so when this was on my list, she had to fight my wife over which one of them was going to get this for me, apparently. But I did get this, which I'm very excited about. I've already started reading it, and I'm enjoying it so far. By the time you see this video, hopefully I will be quite a ways into it because I'm actually recording this at the beginning of the month, and it's probably not going to come out for another week or two, just with the way that my videos are scheduled out right now. But yeah, hopefully I will be well into Wind and Truth, or even maybe finished with it by the time this video comes out, and hopefully enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so far, but I've only read a little bit of it right now at the time of recording this. The other book that she got me is The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. This is the second book of his Bloodsworn Saga trilogy. This is another one that I really wanted. I read The Shadow of the Gods in the summer of 2023, and I loved it. And I've been wanting to continue the series for a while, but I just never got around to it. And so I'm very excited to have this one now so that I can continue that series. The other 2 books that I received as Christmas gifts were from my parents. They got me The Hand of Thrawn duology by Timothy Zahn. This is a Star Wars duology. This is one that I've been wanting for a while. I've heard a lot of great things about it, and it's kind of one of the big, probably kind of big pillars of the Bantam era of Star Wars publishing that I didn't own yet. Of course, there's a lot of Bantam era books that I don't own yet, but this is kind of one of the big ones that I don't have. So I'm happy to have that now, so I'm excited to read those. Next, I'll talk briefly about the books that I was given for free from authors. The first one is one that I was directly sent, which is Sacrilege by Barbara Avon. Barbara didn't actually send me this herself. Her fiance, who is also an author, contacted me, who also has some books that seem interesting that I might like to look into, but he sent this my way and said, hey, I think you might enjoy this. So many thanks to him and Barbara Avon for sending me this book. It sounds pretty interesting from the premise of it, so I'm excited to read it. I also got the Immortal Great Souls series by Phil Tucker. This, I believe, is a progression fantasy trilogy, or at least there's 3 books out right now. I don't know if there's any more that are going to be coming out at some point. But I got these, first of all, because they were free on Kindle, but also because Matt's Fantasy Book Reviews I saw reviewed the first book in the series. I'm not sure if he's done any more of them. He might have, but I do remember him reviewing the first book in the series, and he seemed to love it, and so I figured I'd give it a try. The last thing that was given away for free from an author was from Ben Galley, who gave away his Emaneska series as well as its sequel series. The Emaneska series is 4 books and the sequel series is 3 books, although this giveaway was only for the first 2 books of that sequel series because the third one was just about to come out. So it seems it was done more so like to promote the last book, which I will have to pick up sometime. But yeah, don't really know much about this one. But, it was free, seemed interesting, seemed kind of cool, and always happy to check out some more self-published authors, especially now after I've bought so many of them for this haul. Holy cow. The next part of the video is going to be the books that I purchased myself. The first part of this is books that I got with gift cards from Christmas, and then the rest of it is going to be books that I bought earlier in the month that were not Christmas related at all. I just bought them because Bull Moose, for those of you who don't know, which is one of my favorite places to get books, they pretty much operate exclusively in northern New England in the US. But they had 12 days of deals going for the first 12 days of December, and a few of those deals were book related, and one of them was free shipping. I usually do not buy enough from Bull Moose in order to get free shipping, and so I decided to take advantage of that and got a few books through them during that. So as far as the books that I got with gift cards and things for Christmas, first of all, I got The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne. Of course, I got The Hunger of the Gods as a gift, and so I figured I was able to get Fury of the Gods. Wanted to complete the trilogy, so I figured, hey, might as well get Fury of the Gods. I've heard great things about this. I've heard great things about book 2 as well, and I obviously love book 1, so I'm excited to read this one. I'm glad to have the full trilogy now, and I will probably try to read the rest of this trilogy sometime this year, if I'm able to. I also finally bought a book in the High Republic Phase 3. I got The Eye of Darkness, which is very exciting. I will be soon reading Path of Vengeance, which is the final book that I'm reading in the High Republic Phase 2. So after that, I can finally get started on Phase 3. However, I did break one of my rules when I bought this book. I decided, usually when it comes to series, I try to get them all in the same format. Of course, sometimes that's not always possible. For example, with Wind and Truth, I own all of the books, the first 4 in mass market paperback, and obviously the only option available to me for that was hardcover. But usually if I can, I try to get them all in the same format. This I got in paperback, even though I have all the other High Republic books in hardcover, mainly because it was like half the price, and I wanted to be able to also get Fury of the Gods, which I would not have been able to do if I did not get this in paperback. And I figured, if I just get Phase 3 in paperback, that'll be fine. Like, as long as it kind of matches somewhat, then, I can deal with it. But the only unfortunate thing about that means that I'm going to have to wait a bit to read some of those books. My goal for the High Republic was to read the last book around the time it comes out, but even though that's something I really wanted to do, I don't think that's going to happen realistically. So it's possible that I will just have to wait. It seems to be about 6 months for Star Wars books in between hardcover and paperback release. So with the new book, with the last book coming out in May or June, I think it's coming out in June, it's probably going to be out in paperback in like December or January, so I'm going to have to wait until then to get it. But honestly, I think I'm okay with that. I can handle that. It's going to take me a while to get through the rest of phase 3 anyway, so as long as I can get through it, by the end of the year or thereabouts, I'll be happy. But yeah, I got this one in this month as well. I also bought the Aftermath trilogy, which was very exciting. I've heard a lot of mixed opinions on Aftermath, but I've really wanted to read it because it seems to be a very important trilogy for the canon Star Wars books. So I'm very happy to have that now. The last thing that I bought from like Christmas related is going to be Pet Sematary by Stephen King. The reason I got all the ebooks, which I'll be talking about here in a couple minutes, is because I got a $30 Amazon gift card from my uncle for Christmas. And so when I had already done that, because the ebook sale was right after Christmas, it was like the 26th and 27th of December. And after that, I still had like $8 left over. And so I looked and I was like, hey, I can get a used copy of Pet Sematary for like $6. So I ordered that. So that has not actually arrived yet at time of me recording this, so I don't have it yet, but I have already ordered it and everything, and I bought it in December, so it goes on the December book haul. But I'm very excited to read this one. I have said before that this is one of the ones that I most wanted to get with Stephen King, so this will probably be my next Stephen King read, even though I already have a few other of his books. This one I am adequately excited enough to read that it is getting bumped to the highest priority for Stephen King for me to read. So I'm very excited about that. Next, the few books that I purchased for myself earlier in the month that I didn't have any relation to Christmas for. First, I got Resistance Reborn, a Star Wars book as well. I got a lot of Star Wars canon books this month. I don't read a whole lot of them, and I don't own a whole lot of them, so I really wanted to kind of try to get more of them. That's kind of going to be more of a priority for me going forward, I think, is trying to get more of these if I can. But this is a standalone set in the sequel trilogy era, I think in between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. And so don't know a lot about it. I've heard good things about it, but don't really know much about it outside of that. So I'm excited to read this one. Hopefully I'll enjoy it. I also got the Quest for Heroes duology by Stephen Arion. This is one that I bought pretty much entirely, at least partially, kind of, on the recommendation of my friend Jonathan Cohn, who has talked on his channel and also to me personally quite a lot about his great love for Stephen Arion's book, The Judas Blossom, and that whole trilogy that takes place in. And I tried to get this, but they didn't have it available, but they did have the Quest for Heroes duology available. So I figured, hey, it's the same author. I'll give it a try. And it seemed interesting, so I figured, I'd pick it up. The last thing that I got for myself so far as physical books is going to be The Forgetting Moon by Brian Lee Durfee, the first book of the 5 Warrior Angels trilogy. This is another one where I got it off Bull Moose, and the way that I like to get their books sometimes, especially where I knew Christmas was coming up, so I'd probably be able to get more, is I wanted to get stuff that they usually don't have. So they don't tend to have a wide selection of Star Wars canon books, at least ones that I don't already own. And I didn't expect them to have really the Stephen Arion books because, he's not as well known of an author. And I did not expect them to have anything by Brian Lee Durfee. I just looked up his name on their website just to see if they happened to have any of them. And lo and behold, they had this book used for like $7. And I was like, I'm buying that because I want to read this trilogy. Unfortunately, they did not have books 2 and 3, but I do hope to get those at some point. I've heard great things about this trilogy, and Brian Lee Durfee runs a fantastic YouTube channel that you should go check out. He does some great book reviews, and he's super funny. So I'm excited to read this one. And the last section of the video is going to include by far the most amount of books. This is the ebook section where I bought a whole bunch from the Amazon sale. I also got a few of these myself before the sale, not even through Amazon, but I'm including them here. So I'm gonna try to go through these pretty quickly. I'm going to be starting with the ones that I'm actually like aware of and actually really wanted to get before I move on to ones that I'll kind of more rapid fire through, which are ones that I just kind of bought, kind of impulse buy. They looked cool, they seemed interesting, or it was a good price for the series or things like that, so I bought them. And a few of these were also free, which is nice. So first I got a trilogy, kind of. It's a set of 3 books by the metal band Distant, which is a band that I love. And the way that these books work is that they are something that a lot of metal bands do, and something that Distant does, is they write their own original stories and lore, and they base their lyrics on that. Most bands don't write books about that though, but Distant decided to, and they have released 3 so far. I decided to buy them all as ebooks. I would have got physical copies, but it was like $20 for each one, and they're a band from I think the Netherlands or something, so it was going to be like $30 shipping, and I didn't feel like dealing with that, so I just bought them all as ebooks for like $15. And so yeah, excited to read these. I think it'll be interesting. It'll be something very different and unique, at least, because this is very unusual kind of book for me to read, or for anyone to read, I think. They're not very well read, even on Goodreads. The first book only has 3 reviews, and the second and third book aren't even on Goodreads. So I'm excited to check these out. I also bought the first book in the Neon Ghost series by Daniel Green, which is A Witch's Sin. Again, I would have liked to get a physical copy of this, but it was $1 for it on Amazon, and so I decided to pick it up. Daniel Green is a booktuber that I'm sure most of you are aware of, if not all of you. And he's been writing some books, and this is the first book in a series, and I figured I'd pick it up. I've been wanting to read some of his own books for a while now, so I figured now would be a good chance. I also got the Gunmetal Gods series by Zamil Akhtar. This is like a Lovecraftian fantasy series, it seems. One that I've heard about for a long time, been wanting to read for a few years now, but I've just never gotten around to. And so when the sale happened, I decided to jump on it because it was a great opportunity to pick up these books. So I'm super excited to read these ones. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I also got books 2 and 3 in the Low Country trilogy by Morgan Shank, which I believe are called A Savage Country and A Silent Country. I received the first book for free a while ago. It was being given away on Kindle a while ago for free, and so I figured I might as well complete the trilogy and read it sometime. So excited to have these. Hopefully I will enjoy them as well. I also got The Sword of Kaigen. I forget the name of the author of this one off the top of my head, but this is a very well-known self-published fantasy book that I have heard everybody say amazing things about, so I'm excited to read this one. I've been wanting to read it for a while because it's so beloved within the BookTube community, so hopefully I will enjoy this. And the rest of these I don't really know all that much about. I just kind of bought them on impulse, so I'll just kind of rapid fire through them. So I got the Shadow Knight series by Michael Webb. I got the Lost War Anthology, which is a short story collection which includes stories by several different authors, including Ben Galley and Phil Tucker, who I already mentioned, as well as others like Michael R. Miller and several other authors. I got the Spellbinders and Gunslingers trilogy. I got the Wraithblade saga, got the Chronicles of the Black Gate series, which is also by Phil Tucker, who wrote some of the books I talked about earlier. I got the Space Seasons series. I got the Shadow Watch series and the Keeper Chronicles trilogy. I also got Gateway to Hell and Flight of the Dark Star Dragon, which are both the first books in some series. I got the Godslayer Rising series, and lastly, I got Cthulhu Private Investigator and Other Stories, which seems to be a short story collection. So that's all the stuff that I got for ebooks. I just kind of wanted to rapid fire through them because I don't really know anything about any of these. I've heard of a couple of them here and there, but have never really looked into them, never really heard much about them. So if you happen to be aware of any of those, let me know what you thought of them in the comments. So that pretty much wraps up this book haul. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them. If so, I got a whole lot of books this month, which I'm very excited about. A lot of stuff to talk about for sure, but it is very exciting and very cool to now have all these books to hopefully check out in the future. So like I said, if you've read any of these, let me know what you thought of them, or if you're excited to hear me talk about any of these, let me know in the comments. And if you got any really cool books in December or for Christmas or anything like that, let me know that in the comments as well. So that is pretty much it for this video. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.